All right, we're gonna go over an awesome glute activation warm-up that you can use for all of your exercises, especially if you're going into like a leg specific day or basically anything where you really want to get in touch with those glutes before exercise. Our goal is to increase neural drive, to increase that connection, the brain-body connection between the brain and those glute muscles, okay? So these are a lot of exercises that you've probably done, especially if you're a client of mine, but we're just gonna go through them in a little series to get those things fired up. So the first one is gonna be a clamshell. Really simple, I know, simple exercise. They don't do anything. They really, if you need this, this is an awesome exercise for you. Don't wanna understate that. So you're gonna lay on the ground here and your hips are gonna be about 45 degrees. And I want you to kind of rock forward just a little bit, okay? You're then going to take this right hand, press it into the ground, and you're going to think about your closing of the scissors. You're going to think about your rib cage drawing toward your hips and your pelvis finding a neutral position, and you're locking in your core. And that press here is really going to facilitate that. Now, as I lift my hip, I'm only going so high as I get strict motion in my hip joint. I'm not actually rocking backward. Okay, this is what I see people doing so wrong in their clamshells, is they're just rocking backward and they're not actually using the hip or isolating those glutes to engage them. They're twisting through the spine, okay? So you're really not getting out of the exercise, which you should. So we're gonna drive that hand into the ground, find your neutral pelvis, your closed scissor position, breathe, and then lift and rotate, but you're only going so far as the hip can go. Okay, and I'm feeling that light up on the outside of my glute, okay? So you're gonna do 5 to 10 repetitions, really focused on firing that glute, and then switch sides, okay? Then you're gonna go into your supine glute flex. So you're laying on your back, hands under the lower aspect of your butt, your toes drop out to the sides, okay? And then we're just gonna try to isolate one glute at a time without letting any other muscle in the body contract. So we're not squeezing our quads, the toes aren't going up to the ceilings, we're not bending the knee, the hamstrings aren't engaging. It's strictly glute. And you're gonna work from a slow, kind of softer contraction to firmer, as firm as you can without letting any other muscle engage. Okay, you can always shake your legs to make sure. And then I want you to slowly relax back down. And you might notice the shaky, kind of chunky motion as you go back down. Try to smoothen that out. Okay, practice both sides. Then you're gonna come up into a bent knee. So now we've taken that joint to a little bit further range of motion, and it's typically much harder for people to get in touch with the glutes here. But you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna try to squeeze the glutes one at a time on either side, and you're gonna try to avoid other muscles getting involved. Typically, we see hamstrings fire. We see quads try to fire. Your foot pushes into the ground. Your foot tries to extend. Quads get going. You might see the hip flexor, the TFL, try to fire here. So we want none of that to happen. It's gonna feel less strong. It's gonna feel like not as much is happening because we're really isolating one muscle. The other thing to keep note of is, where's your lower back? If you're arched off the ground or if your hands are too high, it's gonna be super hard to feel your glutes here. When the pelvis is tilted forward, the glutes lengthen, and it's harder to get in touch with a fully lengthened muscle like that, or a more lengthened muscle. Right? So push your lower back into the ground. You could even think about closing your scissor, tightening the abs, and then squeezing the glutes. Okay, from there, you can go into all of your exercises, your glute bridges, your deadlifts, your squats, but that is gonna help you increase neural drive to the glutes. It's gonna help you feel them, feel the right muscles that you may be lacking or maybe not very connected with, okay? Give it a go.